we add EST or ER?
EST.
EST, fantastic. Yes, we see EST, EST. All right, let's check it. Oh, we got one, but not the other. So let's think about it, okay? When we say the nearest planet to the sun is Mercury, we are comparing Mercury to all of the other 7 planets. When we say the largest planet is Jupiter, we're comparing Jupiter to all of the other planets. So when we say EST, we're comparing more than 2. If we say ER, it's for 2. So you can think about it like ER is 2 letters. It's comparing 2 things. EST is 3 letters. It's comparing more than 2 things.
โอเคนักเรียนค่ะนักเรียนเข้าใจไหมคะถ้าเป็นการเปรียบเทียบสมมุติว่าถ้าเป็นสิ่ง2 สิ่ง two things 2 สิ่งเนี่ยนะคะเราจะใช้การเปรียบเทียบขั้นกว่าก็คือ ER ถูกไหมคะแบบอย่างเช่น the cat is smaller than a dog อันนี้คือ2 สิ่งคือเรา compare ระหว่าง cat กับ dog แต่ว่าถ้าเกิดว่าเป็น EST เป็น superlative form EST เนี่ยนะคะในภาษาไทยเนี่ยเราเรียกว่าที่สุดอะไรก็ตามอย่างเช่น the nearest planet to the sun is Mercury ก็หมายถึงดาวเคราะห์เนี่ยที่มันอยู่ใกล้ดวงอาทิตย์ที่สุดคำว่าที่สุดจำไว้เลยนะคะ EST คือที่สุดอยู่ใกล้ดวงอาทิตย์ที่สุดก็คือดาว Mercury the largest planet is Jupiter the largest ก็คือใหญ่ที่สุดดาวเคราะห์ที่ใหญ่ที่สุดก็คือ Jupiter ดังนั้นในการที่เราเปรียบเทียบอะไรที่มันเป็นขั้นสูงสุดนั่นคือเราเปรียบเทียบในหลายสิ่งในกรุ๊ปหลายๆสิ่งสมมุตินะคะที่เชอร์พูดว่ามะม่วงที่เชอร์มีมะม่วง1 กิโลกรัม I have 1 kilo of mango and แล้วก็เราจะ compare มะม่วงลูกเนี้ยคือลูกที่ใหญ่ที่สุดในมะม่วง1 กิโลที่เรามีเนี่ยเราใช้ก็คืออย่างเช่น the biggest this one is the biggest mango in the basket แบบเนี้ยเข้าใจไหมคะ
เข้าใจค่ะเข้าใจค่ะ
เข้าใจนะโอเคลูก
Yeah, it's a little confusing, but EST is comparing many, okay? Because it's the most out of all. All right, great job. Thank you, Tangla. Okay, so I would like to play a video for you guys. And it's a little long, but it's really cool. It's really interesting, okay? So all right. Here it is. Let me share my screen again. And they're gonna use EST to compare all of the planets. So really try to listen and hear for EST, hear for those comparing adjectives.
Our solar system. Have you ever looked up into the sky and wondered what was there?
video ไหมคะ
ไม่ครับ
ไม่ค่ะโอเค Teacher Emily คะ I think it's because the internet unstable or something because we cannot hear the sound of the video no no
Oh, I wonder if I was muted. That's why you couldn't hear it. Oh. I muted it so I could plug in my computer and not distract anyone, but that might have turned it off. Let's try it again.
Higher
Okay.
than birds, past
okay
Yeah.
our
Okay, cool.
solar system. Have you ever looked up into the sky and wondered what was there? Higher than the birds, past the clouds, and farther than the moon, a whole host of fascinating objects spin in outer space. Let's imagine for a moment that we can leave the Earth behind and explore the solar system that surrounds it. We call it the solar system because everything in it is centered around the sun, and solar means something to do with the sun. The sun is a star, just like many of the stars that you can see in the night sky, just many times closer to us. Still, the sun is very, very far away from the Earth, almost 93 million miles away. That's why it looks so small, even though it's the biggest object in the solar system. In fact, the sun makes up more than 99% of the mass in the solar system. If you put all of the planets, moons, asteroids, comets, and everything else in the solar system together, they would make up less than 0.25% of it. The sun is so big that it's more than 100 times wider than the Earth, and if it were a giant jar, you could fit more than 1 million Earths into it. More than that, the sun is what holds the solar system together. Its massive gravity is what keeps the Earth and all the other planets circling around it instead of drifting off into space. The sun is also what allows us to live on Earth. Without the sun, there would be no heat. There would be no light. Plants could not grow. Water would freeze and nothing could survive. The sun gives us heat and light because it is always burning. It is a giant ball of gas, mostly hydrogen and helium, and it burns at millions of degrees in its center. Let's leave the sun now to explore the planets. As we move away from the sun, the first planet we will encounter is Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet in the solar system, much smaller than Earth, and one of only 5 planets you can see from Earth using nothing but your eyes. Of course, it won't look much like a planet. It looks more like a bright star. Many nights you can see it close to the horizon near sunrise and sunset. Mercury is a lot like our moon. It's small and has a rocky surface with craters on it. It has no moon of its own and no air to breathe. You probably wouldn't enjoy a visit to Mercury, since temperatures are boiling hot in the sun and freezing cold in the shade. Something interesting about Mercury is that it is the fastest planet to go around the sun. It only takes 88 days. Next is Venus, the second planet. Some people call Venus Earth's sister because the 2 planets are very close in size and gravity, but they are very different on the surface. First of all, it is very hot. Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system. It's not as close to the sun as Mercury, but its thick atmosphere of carbon dioxide helps it to trap the heat and stay warmer than its neighbor. It has a thick atmosphere, but it is not one you could breathe. It is mostly made of carbon dioxide, and there are clouds of sulfuric acid. Venus might not be fun to visit, but it is beautiful to look at. It is the second brightest object in the night sky. The only thing brighter is the moon. If you are looking at a sunrise or a sunset and suddenly notice what looks like a very bright star, you are probably looking at Venus. After Venus comes Earth. the third planet from the sun. Of course, you know all about Earth because that's the planet where we live. Earth is what's called a Goldilocks planet because it's not too hot and not too cold. It is just right. As far as we know, Earth is the only planet to have living things. Let's leave Earth again for a moment, though, and visit Mars, the fourth planet from the sun. Mars is known as the red planet because iron oxide, a material like rust, in the soil, gives it a reddish color. Mars is smaller than Venus and the Earth, but larger than Mercury. It is cold and rocky, with a thin atmosphere made of carbon dioxide and oxygen. There is water ice on Mars. Scientists are very interested in Mars because they think that people could live there with the help of some special equipment. Rockets and probes have already been sent there to gain more information about the planet. Right now, there are 2 special robots exploring the surface of Mars, sending information back to Earth. Mars is the first planet we visited today besides Earth to have its own moons. It has 2, although they are not big and round like our moon. Mars's moons are small and irregular. Scientists think they may be captured asteroids. Maybe they came from the big asteroid belt that is between Mars and Jupiter. An asteroid belt is a big ring of asteroids, or rocky objects, orbiting the sun. Jupiter comes next, the 5th planet in the solar system. Jupiter is the largest planet and is something called a gas giant. It is called this because it is really big and made mostly of gases. Jupiter is so big that you would have to place 11 Earths end to end just to stretch across its middle. Jupiter is also the 3rd brightest object in the night sky. Only Venus and the moon are brighter. You can usually find Jupiter higher in the sky than Venus, since Jupiter is away from the sun and not towards it. Jupiter has at least 67 moons that circle around it, but 55 of them are very small, only about as big as a mountain or smaller. Some of its moons are very large, and at least 2 of them are about the same size as the planet Mercury. One of its moons is the largest moon in the solar system. Some of these large moons can be seen from Earth in your backyard with a telescope. People cannot land on Jupiter because it is made of gas. There is no ground to land on. Even if there was somewhere to land, Jupiter is covered by terrible storms, much stronger than even the strongest storms on Earth. One storm that we know about can be seen from Earth. We call it the Great Red Spot because that's what it looks like, and it has been going on for at least 200 years. After Jupiter comes Saturn, another gas giant. Saturn is famous for its beautiful rings. Although they look solid from a distance, the rings are actually made from many small ice particles, as well as rocks and dust. Saturn also has more than 60 moons orbiting around it, some as large as the planet Mercury and many smaller. Something interesting about Saturn is that even though it is very large, it is not very dense. That means that if you could find a bathtub large enough to put Saturn in, it would float instead of sink. Saturn is the farthest planet that can be seen from Earth without the help of a telescope. After Saturn comes Uranus, the 7th planet from the sun. Uranus is another gas giant, but it is much smaller than Saturn and Jupiter. Unlike any other planet in the solar system, it is tilted so much that it actually spins sideways. Uranus has rings around it, although they are much smaller than Saturn's, and 27 known moons. Uranus is covered in blue clouds made of methane, which give it its lovely color. Very similar to Uranus is Neptune, the 8th planet from the sun. Neptune is another gas giant, And like Uranus, it has methane in its atmosphere, so it also looks blue. Neptune is a darker blue than Uranus, and scientists aren't sure why. Neptune has a few thin rings and 14 moons that we know about. Because Neptune is so far out in space, it takes it a very, very long time to go around the sun. Remember Mercury, that only takes 88 days to go once around the sun? Poor Neptune takes over 164 years to finish an orbit around the sun. The last time that Neptune was in the same place it is now was before the American Civil War, before computers, phones, airplanes, or cars had been invented. Neptune has the longest orbit of any planet in the solar system. Now you may think that I've forgotten someone. Pluto. Pluto was discovered in 1930 and was listed as the 9th planet in the solar system. As it was studied longer, scientists realized how small it is. It is much smaller than any other planet in the solar system, and even smaller than many other moons. Plus, people started to discover other small, rocky planet-like objects in space near Pluto. Some of them were even bigger than Pluto. In 2006, after 76 years being listed as a planet, Pluto was declared a dwarf planet to show that it was something that was like a planet, but much smaller. There are at least 6 dwarf planets in the solar system, and possibly many, many more. That leaves us with 8 official planets in our solar system: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. I hope you enjoyed exploring the solar system with me today. Goodbye till next time.
Woo! Awesome. That was a really, really interesting video. Did you hear them say that Jupiter is the largest planet, that Venus is the hottest planet, that Saturn has rings around it, and it will float, so it has a lot of buoyancy. A lot of really cool facts about the planets in that video. Okay, so how much time do we have left? Perfect. All right, we have a little bit of time. Oh, Sun said 8 planets in the solar system have their own sound too, but sound doesn't work in space, so the sounds from the sun and the 8 planets are from radio waves, and the scientists change it into sound. Yes, you're absolutely right. All of the planets have their own vibration, their own sounds that send waves through the universe, and scientists are able to see those waves and then calculate the sounds that the frequencies are making. It's really, really interesting how scientists are able to look through the telescopes and use math to determine what the planets are made of, how big they are, how heavy they are, how dense they are. It's really cool. Thank you for that chat, Sun. Thank you for that. Okay, so we have a couple of minutes left. Let me see if we have anything else that we need to do. Okay, so what I would like for you guys to do is I would like for us to, I'm so sorry, this thing just closed on me. Did we already look at the grammar pass? Yes. I think we have enough time. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and I would like for us to write Well, no. I don't know if we have enough time. We'll have to do it next time. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get my brain organized. Okay. So that was a really fun video. Can two friends tell me 2 facts, 2 things that they learned from that video? One friend tell me 1 fact and another friend tell me another fact. What are 2 facts that you learned from that video? Anyone learned a new cool fact?
นั่นเองค่ะนั่นเองค่ะเมื่อกี้ที่เรา
ครับ
เราดูวิดีโอไปใช่ไหมมันก็จะเป็นเกี่ยวกับแฟกต์ก็คือ ข้อเท็จจริงเกี่ยวกับสิ่งต่างๆในระบบจักรวาลใช่ไหมคะถูกไหมคะ
ครับ
ทีนี้ทีเชอร์เขาก็หัวข้อคือให้ tell friend about the fact อะไรก็ได้ที่เราดูไปเมื่อกี้อย่างเช่น we live in the planet Earth อันเนี้ยเราก็เรียกว่าเป็น fact หรือเมื่อกี้ที่เราดูในส่วนของ grammar past ที่ผ่านมาก็คือจะเป็นอะไร the nearest planet
is
the sun is อะไร Mercury แบบเนี้ยอันนี้เราก็เรียกว่าเป็น fact ถูกไหมคะดังนั้นก็คือ1 คนก็1 fact เราก็สามารถที่จะ present ให้ teacher เขาฟังได้แล้วได้เก็ตไหมลูกได้เข้าใจไหม
ครับเข้าใจครับ
เข้าใจครับ
ให้คิดเป็นการบ้านเหรอครับ
teacher give them as a homework
Yeah, that could be a good little thing. All right. Yeah.
they need a time to think about the fact
That's okay. So for homework, I'll put it in the chat. For homework, please write 1 fact about our solar system. Okay? It can be a fact that we've already talked about. It can be a fact that you heard in the video. And I'll link this video in the chat so you guys can watch it again if you'd like.
อันนี้เราจะมีลิงก์วิดีโอมาให้นักเรียนด้วยนะคะนักเรียนก๊อปลิงก์วิดีโอไว้ก่อนเลยลูกwe will have I will let them to copy the link
Yeah.
นักเรียน copy ลิงก์ไว้ได้เลยนะคะ
That way you have 2 days to watch it again and write down at least 1 fact. If you want to write down more than 1 fact, that's great too.
แล้ว then we will discuss in the next period next time
Just the different facts in the next period.
โอเคไหมเด็กๆอันนี้ให้เป็น homework เป็น homework สำหรับ6 ทับ 4ให้แบบว่าเราไปคิดมาเลยลูกเป็นแฟกต์เกี่ยวกับโซล่าแล้วก็นักเรียนโน้ตไว้ค่ะสมมตินักเรียนดูนักเรียนก็โน้ตจดใส่กระดาษจดใส่สมุดไว้แล้วก็ได้จดใส่สมุดเราไว้จากนั้นเดี๋ยวพอชั่วโมงหน้าเรามาเจอกันเราก็จะมาดิสคัสกันในชั่วโมงดังนั้นทุกคนจะต้องมีงานชิ้นนี้ทุกคนจะต้องทำงานชิ้นนี้นะโอเคไหมคะ
โอเคครับ
โอเคโอ้ลิชโอเคคนเดียวเหรอลูกลิชโอเคคนเดียวเหรอมีใครโอเคอีก BM โอเคไหมลูก BM เข้าใจไหมครับ
เข้าใจครับ
เข้าใจครับนักเรียนมีคนไหนไม่เข้าใจกันบ้านไหมคะมีใครไม่เข้าใจกันบ้านไหมคะนักเรียนเปิดไมค์คุยกับทีเชอร์ได้เลยนะคะจ๊ะจ๋าหนูเข้าใจไหมคะจ๊ะจ๋า
เข้าใจค่ะ
นุ่นไม่เข้าใจอะไรลูกน้องนุ่นเข้าใจไหมคะนุ่นเข้าใจค่ะโอเคน้องคุณเข้าใจนะโอเคถ้าใครไม่เข้าใจนักเรียนทักมาหาทีเชอร์ตังกวาได้เลยนะคะเดี๋ยวทีเชอร์อธิบายให้ฟังอีกรอบหนึ่งถ้าใครไม่มีลิงก์วิดีโอนะคะเดี๋ยวทีเชอร์ตังกวาจะส่งลิงก์ไปให้ตอนที่คุณครูประจำชั้นเขาส่งสรุปการบ้านนะคะโอเคเนาะเด็กๆโอเคนะโอเค yes
Awesome. Perfect. Okay, let me see. Sun, do you want to pick a song for next class? Because you put in the chat a really cool fact, which I appreciated.
Yes.
Okay, Sun, what song would you like?
Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna. Love it. I love how he already knew. He was like, I got this song. I love that song. Okay, friends, I'm so excited to see you again on Friday. Let's sing our thank you song and then you guys can go have some lunch. Thank you, I really want to thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so much.
Good job. All right, I'll see you Friday. Have a good rest of your week. I'll see you Friday. Bye.
Thank you so much teacher เด็กๆ
Thank
ข
you,
อบคุณมากเลยนะคะ
teacher.
Teacher. Thank you.
Teacher